It was 9:12 a.m. On a crisp Tuesday morning when Sheriff Daniel Holt found himself at the center of a storm he didn't see coming. Standing by his pickup truck at Pump 6 of Rusty's gas stop, he held a glazed donut in one hand and a steaming coffee in the other, blissfully unaware that his day was about to spiral into chaos. A woman's voice pierced the air, sharp and accusatory. "You're going to jail for obstruction of commerce. I've got it all on video," she shrieked, jabbing a neon-pink manicured finger at him like he was a wanted felon. Her name was Brenda Carmichael, the town's self-proclaimed watchdog, notorious for her relentless 911 calls and her reign as the unofficial queen of the neighborhood association. Brenda was a spectacle, oversized sunglasses, a glittery baseball cap, and a tank top proclaiming #thriving and striving. Her tiny chihuahua, Princess Fluffball, decked out in a sequin vest, yapped furiously from her SUV's passenger seat, amplifying the drama. Across the lot, a couple of teenagers paused their gas pumping to record the scene, while an old farmer in overalls chewed sunflower seeds, watching like it was a live soap opera. Brenda was in full meltdown, pacing like a caged tiger, convinced she'd caught a criminal mastermind, Daniel, blocking her access to the pump. The truth? Daniel had pulled into Rusty's to refuel and grab breakfast, leaving his truck at the pump while he stepped inside. To Brenda, this was an act of tyranny, a deliberate sabotage of decent citizens. She didn't recognize him out of uniform, which made the situation both hilarious and unnerving. As Daniel took a sip of coffee, Brenda dialed 911, her voice dripping with panic. "There's a man blocking the gas pump, and he's threatening me. He's holding something shiny, could be a weapon." That shiny object was Daniel's sheriff badge, clipped to his belt, glinting in the morning sun. Through her phone's speaker, the dispatcher's voice crackled. "Ma'am, describe the individual." Brenda, eyeing Daniel like he was a ticking bomb, ranted. "Male, late 40s, flannel shirt, rugged build. Smells like coffee and cedar, probably ex-military, definitely dangerous." Daniel, unfazed, waved politely, donuts still untouched. Then, like a punchline from a cosmic comedy, a cruiser rolled in, lights flashing. Deputy Sarah Klein stepped out, her radio in hand, fighting a grin as she locked eyes with Daniel. Brenda charged toward her, arms flailing. "Officer, arrest him now! He's a menace!" Sarah nodded, barely containing her laughter. "Arrested, huh? For what, exactly?" "For blocking the pump. For intimidating me with pastries," Brenda snapped. Daniel glanced at his donut, then back at Sarah. "Took you long enough," he said with a shrug. Brenda froze. "Wait, what?" Daniel turned, tipping an imaginary hat. "Daniel Holt, County Sheriff." Time seemed to stop. Brenda's jaw dropped, her face draining of color. Princess Fluffball let out a pitiful whimper. "You're lying!" Brenda stammered. Sarah flashed her badge. "Nope. And he's not the one in trouble." The crowd erupted, teenagers cackling, their phones still rolling. But as the laughter faded, Daniel's eyes caught something odd. A beat-up Ford Explorer parked near the dumpsters, no plates, windows tinted dark. It hadn't moved the entire time. Then the driver's door cracked open, and a figure bolted toward the woods. "Runner!" Daniel barked, dropping his coffee and sprinting after him. Sarah followed, no questions asked. Chasing a suspect in cowboy boots wasn't ideal, but adrenaline kicked in. Daniel weaved through gravel and junk, closing the gap. The man tripped, crashing into the dirt, and Daniel pinned him down. Sarah secured his wrists. In the suspect's backpack were 5 metal cases, each containing a sleek, unmarked device, high-tech, with encryption ports and a cellular modem. One case had a label. Brenda Carmichael. Her name, scrawled in marker, tied her to something far bigger than a gas pump tantrum. Back at the lot, Brenda's bravado had crumbled. "I don't know what that is," she insisted, but her eyes betrayed panic. Daniel and Sarah headed to Brenda's house, a pastel nightmare of lawn gnomes, flamingos, and a sign reading, "Dream Sparkle, Sue." Princess Fluffball barked like a demon as Brenda, now in a pink tracksuit and leopard slippers, blocked the door. "I'm only letting you in so the neighbors don't think I'm shady," she huffed. Inside, her home was a shrine to selfies and glittery quotes. Over a sticky glass table, Brenda swore she knew nothing about the devices. "I don't buy off-brand tech. I'm not broke," she snapped. Sarah leaned in. "Then why's your name on a case?" Brenda blinked. "It was my name?" "Like Brenda Carmichael, spelled exactly like my lawsuits?" Daniel nodded. "Next to a barcode from a shell company we can't trace." Brenda's nails tapped nervously. "A guy named Zane contacted me months ago. Said he was with an influencer agency, wanted to boost my platform, monetize my vibe. Gave me gear for better live streams." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Monetize your vibe? It's a thing." Brenda shot back. "I've got 14,000 followers and a candle brand deal." Sarah smirked. "Sounds like he handed you spy gear, and you posed for the selfie." Brenda paled. "He said it was for smoother streams. Told me to keep it secret, beta test stuff." Zane, she described, was average, wore a baseball cap, and reeked of cheap cologne. Tech bro vibes. Then Princess Fluffball started yapping at a closet. Sarah opened it, revealing a shoebox stuffed with burner phones. Brenda gasped. "That's not mine!" One phone had a symbol matching the device from the Explorer, linking Zane to a deeper plot. The investigation spiraled. The shell company dissolved days after inquiries began, its only trace a financial tie to a tech firm contracted by Mayor Victor Ramsey's office. Ramsey, a slick politician with a knack for dodging scandals, was now a suspect. A grainy photo showed him laughing with Zane at a coffee shop. Brenda, it seemed, was a pawn, her loud persona and constant live streams the perfect cover for planting surveillance tech. The devices weren't for streaming, they were interceptors, siphoning data from police, fire departments, and town systems. Then Brenda vanished. Her social media went silent, Princess Fluffball was found wandering, and a blurry driveway camera caught her fleeing with a suitcase. Theories exploded online: alien abduction, witness protection, or a dramatic stunt. Sarah thought she'd skip town for attention. Daniel wasn't convinced. That night, Brenda reappeared, live streaming from a dingy motel. No filters, no sequins, just her, raw and serious. "If you're watching, I'm finally doing something right," she said. "Zane used me." Those devices weren't for fame, they were spying on the sheriff, the fire department. "I was too vain to see it." She revealed a deal with the good guys, and handed Daniel a flash drive and a notebook logging Zane's visits. One entry stood out: a midnight meeting at Rusty's, Pump 6. Daniel realized the gas station was a hub, a testing ground for the devices. Brenda's streams had broadcast access points, mapping the town's digital vulnerabilities. They set a trap. At midnight, Rusty's glowed under neon buzz. Daniel and Sarah watched from an unmarked car, Brenda in a ridiculous Girl Scout vest and oversized sunglasses, Princess Fluffball in a makeshift tactical vest. She faked a live stream, baiting Zane with a decoy device. At 12:03 a.m., a black SUV crept in. Zane emerged, all in black, scanning with a phone. Brenda played her part, pacing Pump 6, chirping about. "Tech checks." Zane approached, his voice low. "You didn't follow orders." Brenda pushed her sunglasses down. "You didn't read the fine print." "I'm a diva with backup now." He reached for the device, clicking a fob that killed the station's lights. Darkness swallowed the lot. "Go!" Daniel yelled. Drones snapped on floodlights, tactical teams swarmed, and Agent Marcus Tate, an internal affairs officer, stepped from the shadows. "Jurisdiction's still mine when federal funds get dirty," he said. Zane spun, rage in his eyes, but Princess Fluffball launched, biting his wrist. He dropped the fob, screaming as Brenda let out a war cry. Daniel tackled him, and the dog held on like a furry vice. In Zane's bag, more devices, a laptop encrypting itself, and an envelope with Ramsey's name. By dawn, Ramsey was arrested for misusing grants and conspiracy. Brenda had been the Trojan horse, her Wi-Fi spreading the tech. Her chaos, though, exposed it. Brenda got a foil medal from Sarah, wore it proudly, and posted a viral apology. Princess Fluffball earned a steak. Daniel returned to Rusty's, finally eating his donut in peace. Brenda drove by, smirking. Still blocking the pump, Sheriff. He raised his coffee in a mock salute. What do you think? Was Brenda a victim, a hero, or just a loudmouth who got lucky? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and share your take on how far teasing and pranks should go in relationships. Where's the line? Hit that like button and subscribe for more wild stories.